Good morning, everybody. It's Monday at G's Club at the Long Island Breakfast Club show. We have a fabulous crew here today.
First up, good morning, good morning, good morning. Again.
You gotta turn around. You didn't give me a chance. I don't look at you what you look like. What the hell is this? Look at him.
I don't know how you guys do this, but I'm suffocating.
Good morning, Greg.
Good morning.
Listen,
Good morning.
you look even good in this.
Wow.
That's pretty scary. You could put anything on and look good.
Oh, thank you.
Actually, I like the white coat.
That's because I was annoyed at us. Now I'm gonna
Yes, when I walked in, I was late with the coffee today, you know?
Where's the coffee, by the way?
It's on the bar.
That's not JT.
No, not today.
Okay.
No, I didn't forget.
I forgive you, I forgive you.
There was no tea for you today. No tea.
Okay.
So,
Good morning,
love.
love.
The doctor out.
Yeah, I love this. I swear to you, know what?
I'm not going to let you check me out because you're not a real doctor, okay? I'm only going to let on.
Okay, that's another show. Okay.
So go ahead.
We have some wonderful guests here.
Yes.
First of all, welcome, guys.
Thank you.
And it's really, it's amazing. I can't believe. You know, one thing I never really thought of ever doing was, well, two things I don't want to do is ever talk about politics and religion. And before I get to it, I can't breathe.
That's it. Got to give you guys credit for wearing that.
Before we even start with the introductions now, I know I have to say this right. Because I know it's like, you guys have like amazingly long titles.
Yes,
Okay, so let me get this straight.
And we
Patty
got-
McCauley,
right.
okay, which from LIJ, Community Relations Site Manager, is that correct?
LIJ, Valley
Wait,
Stream.
oh, I saw from Valley Stream, I'm sorry. That's wonderful. Right. Now, of course you're gonna have something wrong with my mic. The worst comes to worst, I can mic if it cuts out. Thanks. So now, Patty has to introduce everybody because the titles, forget it. I'm gonna just have it over here. Yeah.
Okay.
So go ahead, I'm sorry.
Right here in charge of our entire building is David Sullivan. He is our executive director for LIJ Valley Stream Hospital at Markwell. We have Dr. Sujiyama next to David Sullivan. He is our chief and chairman of the surgical department. And we have Dr. Salvatore Pardo. Sorry. He is our chairman of the emergency department.
Wonderful.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Really?
As she starts yapping away, I have to do my little beauty. This is something, it's a ritual. Something with this. You know what I think it's?
Listen to my phone.
Excuse me.
The outfit's a little tight for him. He's not used to being confined. Okay? He's used to being free.
Let's go. Oh, this is much better.
Okay. There you go.
Now she's talking commando style. Okay, that's what she's
Yeah,
talking
what the
about.
hell, why not?
All right, so go ahead, Keller. Wait, before we start, we have to say happy birthday to a wonderful woman, Susan Dunn. She's my secretary in Kiwanis Franklin Square. I want to thank you for everything that you've done. Stop, get your finger off for crying out loud, Lord Jesus, Mary,
This is what
Joseph.
he does.
Well, let me finish. I'm starting from the top here,
I
Keller.
gotta do that.
Okay, you can do that one. That one's yours. Also, well, before we even congratulate, Susan, thank you for everything that you do. You're really special. I love you, and I couldn't have done it without you. And really, all I have to say is I love you. And happy birthday, happy birthday. And congratulations. Now, I went away for Kiwanis. I just got sworn in to be the Lieutenant Governor of Long Island South Central, Kiwanis. And my little mess, I have to.
Very nice.
You can't breathe in this either. It's like that plastic thing right there, the face shield.
Nice.
I want to congratulate Brenda Lee, which is my Kiwanis first wife, for now she's the governor. We have Governor-elect, which just got voted on, Jim Mancuso. You know how much we love you. And that's all I have to tell you, Jim and Brenda and Peter Mancuso, which is going to be the president of International. And I'm really looking forward to that. So
Congratulations.
So congratulations, guys. And
I would like to say happy birthday to my baby girl. She's not a baby. She, Jennifer Lynn. I love her to death. She's in Maryland because of the COVID. I haven't been able to see her since Christmas. Happy birthday, honey. Miss you, love you. I
Happy
sent
birthday.
you 16 birthday messages on Facebook. So you should be seeing them all today. Happy birthday, Jen. Love you. So that's the birthday messages. So let's talk a little bit. Well, this is the guru of the computer. He manages to look at everything with old phones, and he's just unbelievable. So, David,
Thank you for having us. It's nice to see you guys again.
Yes, and in the audience we have Angela from Tranquility Spa.
Out there, thank you.
She'll be visiting us in a little bit.
So can I thank Angela very quickly?
Of course you can.
So Angela, we obviously, like most hospitals in the Northeast, we've had an interesting go in 2020. Angela was so kind, along with you guys, both to donate 200 spa treatments to our staff at LIJ Valley Stream. So she's been the talk of the hospital for the last few months, and we just deeply appreciate everything you did
she'll
for
be
us.
joining us in a little bit.
Look forward to it.
So tell us about what's going on.
Yeah, there's a lot going on at the hospital. I brought with me today Dr. Parham and Dr. Sugiyama, who oversee two of our most robust surgical and medical departments within the hospital. It's been a busy few years, really, at LIJ Valley Stream. We have been really working hard, bringing in new clinical leadership, new clinical teams, to just try to drive our programs to even greater heights. So today we'll talk a little bit about some of that work.
The new programs, right?
Yeah, new programs. Dr. Sugiyama can talk a little bit about where we are in general surgery and some of our recent accreditations. Dr. Pardo certainly can talk probably better than any of us about the experience of COVID on our local facility, but also we're currently in active construction building a brand new emergency room at the hospital.
Really?
So
Congrats.
something he will be smiling in a year if he's
You're in
not
charge of
smiling
that?
these days.
You're going to be in charge. You're in charge of that, right? Like
Well,
emergency room?
I guess I'm responsible and I get blamed for a lot of stuff, but I don't know if if you want to say in charge, that's fine.
Okay, so is it really like the TV, like we see on the TV with the hospital?
At times, it can be like TV, but in TV, they try to condense everything in an hour. So there's elements of that, what you see on TV, but...
It's unreal. I love those shows.
Yeah, they're great.
And the doctor, they're also handsome. And you guys are handsome too. So we just won today.
That's the reason why you guys were invited.
Just your luck, so it's.
So you've been with the hospital for what, about 5 years?
I've only been with the health system for about 15 years in total, but with LIJ Valley Stream for just over a year now. So it's been.
Really? It seems like you've been there forever.
It feels like that some days, but like Sal said, you condense a lot of things into a short amount of time. But it's been a lot of fun. I mean, obviously. I think the community knows us well from orthopedic care. We have now been really regarded on a national level for orthopedic care.
I saw you got an award recently.
We did.
I did a lot of research.
We achieved some of our advanced certifications in total hip and total knee surgery. We're currently going for some accreditations in spine, ankle replacement, shoulder replacement.
Is this the knee guy?
He's actually our chief of general surgery.
So because someday,
we have the right people for that too. We just, again, U.S. News and World
Not
Report.
yet. I fight it, guys. I fight it all.
When
but
you're
one
ready.
day, when
You don't
I'm on the
rush it.
stretcher,
You don't rush it.
I'm
We
going to
say-
be looking for the two of you.
Hold off as long as you can, but when you come to that day, though, our program
I
was
know.
recently accredited by the Joint Commission. We were just in the top 50 nationally by U.S. News and World Reports for orthopedic care. So it's been a really good few years growing our orthopedic program, and I think a lot of what we did in orthopedics over the last few years, we're now going through that transition for general surgery as well under Dr. Sugiyama's leadership. So it's been an exciting time for us.
You have a huge staff, I guess, huh?
No, I mean, we don't have a huge staff, but we have a dedicated and then, well-coordinated team of surgeons and staff that work all together, so it's like a family.
Well, that's what it has to be in a hospital, doesn't it? I mean, if you don't act like family, you have to have your bad days and your good days, right?
Yeah.
And you
try
got to
make
whack
more
them when they
visits.
need to be whacked and, coach them when they need to be coached and hug them without the COVID. Hug them when they need to be hugged, right?
Less hugging in 2020, but
Yeah. How is it going with the whole COVID, people, places, what's happening?
Yeah, so we'll start from the beginning. It was, March, heading into March was kind of kind of anticipated some things, and then March was difficult, April was difficult, and then as May went through, we kind of started seeing everything recede. But I think that the team at LIJ Valley Stream really, we were galvanized and we were up to the challenge, and whatever it threw at us, we were able to meet and exceed expectations. So I thought we came out of it fairly well. I think, hopefully we won't have to see this or go through anything like this again. They say it's like a once-in-a-lifetime, a once-in-a-century event, and I hope that's true. But I have to say that, just getting along with everybody as a relatively new member of the team at Valley Stream, I took the job in February of 2019, but we quickly have galvanized and become very good friends in the process.
Well, that's
I got to tell you, I could not imagine seeing what, I mean, we only saw, of course, on the outside, we only see just a little bit of what really, you know, transpires in the hospital. I mean, you guys bodies were going left and right. It was crazy. I lost 21 people, you know, and now, you know, a question I wanted to ask you is, when you have the flu, is it going to be considered now having the flu or the COVID virus? Because it's like, I think they're kind of leaning more to everything's COVID versus a flu. So if you have a runny nose, you know, congested, whatever, is it going to be the flu? I mean, I know I can't hold you verbatim because you guys don't know what's going on with the CDC. Look, they both pointed to you. Okay. All right, so,
He's the man.
Well, here's the answer. You want
Mini
the answer?
Fauci.
Yeah, so it depends, right? So we'll just say you'll have some sort of viral illness, right? And when someone comes in with a viral illness, and normally what we would do, we would test the person, right? And we test for a lot of things. There's lots of viruses out there. The common cold is a type of coronavirus, which is what we're dealing with right now, the COVID. It's a type of coronavirus.
Really? Common
Yes.
cold.
So this particular coronavirus we call COVID-19, right? Now, when we started this whole thing, we were testing for any kind of respiratory virus, any kind of virus. So it could be RSV, it could be the flu, it could be flu A, it could be. And as we expand the testing and we're able to, and the reason why we do that is when you come to the hospital, we want to make sure that you're safe from everybody else that's in the hospital. So we do something that's called cohorting. And we test you, and let's say you have flu A and you have flu A, we can put you in the same room. But if you have flu A and you have COVID, we don't want to put you in the same room. And it's a way of us kind of being a good gatekeeper of what's in and out of the hospital. Because part of the risk of being in a hospital is getting sick from those around us. So what we do is we test everybody, and we find out what's going on. And until we know what's going on, we keep people separate. And that's the challenge when you're dealing with a large epidemic like this, is that you don't actually know until the test comes back. So as time went on and we had the ability to expand our testing, not only the amount of testing that we're doing, but what type of testing and testing for what, we were able to do a better job of keeping people separate.
That's
So-
amazing.
So your answer is, it could be both, it could be one, it could be the other.
So do you think it's going to act up like the way it started out in, what is it, like?
October, they're
People start
saying,
getting
right?
sick primarily in October.
We're about to
November.
embark in flu season. Once
Okay.
September hits, is the start of flu season,
Okay.
right? So we start monitoring things for activity with the flu, right? And that's generally flu A and flu B. Now, we don't know what's going to happen. You know, we develop vaccines early on in the year by looking at what's happening in the southern hemisphere, and then we kind of create a vaccine is created and distributed amongst the population. People at risk, healthcare workers, and they're asked to accept the vaccine for the flu. This year it's going to be a little bit different because we're anticipating a vaccine for the COVID-19, and we're in the third phase of the trials now, and hopefully it'll be effective, and we'll see what happens.
So when do you think we could, you know, we're going to see when
Expect that vaccine.
What do I think, or what do I hope?
Okay.
What I hope
Oh,
is that we have an effective
I get really
vaccine.
nervous asking
Yeah.
you things because it's like I have to.
Because we don't know.
Right,
You know,
right,
we don't
right.
know. We don't
Yeah.
know what the answer is. We don't know what comes before us. I know we're
They're gonna
trying
say
very
Dr.
hard.
Sal said, you know.
There's
so
a lot of
that's why
effort
I
to
said
develop that
why we
vaccine.
put
Yeah. So what I hope is we have an effective vaccine, and people accept it as to take the vaccine, and this way, that's the way we really develop the herd immunity that we need.
And you're a firm believer in vaccines?
Yes,
Really?
firm believer of vaccine. All my kids get vaccinated. I get vaccinated. I'm a firm believer. You know, people have the right to their own opinion. I think the science proves that vaccines are helpful and they save lives. So I'm a firm believer of vaccines.
Can I ask you a question? What do you think about someone that has an immune deficiency? My doctor always tells me, don't get the vaccine for the flu or anything. Is that true or not?
It depends on what kind of immune deficiency you have.
Right.
People
we'll
who
talk
are at
about it
risk,
later.
you know, there's people that are on immunosuppressives, and I can
Right.
see, you know, I would have to speak to the vaccine
All right.
professionals
Well,
about that.
I was just
But
wondering.
in general, if you're in any way kind of compromised because of your age or other comorbidities,
Unfortunately, yeah. I have the age.
my recommendation would be to take the vaccine.
It does. All right. Well, that's good to know. You know, I'm old.
Okay. Dr. Suji, talk to us. Really. I sat here before, and I was trying to figure out what each doctor did. Now, you guys do work together besides being in the hospital, and so what is your specialty? I'm sorry.
So I'm a general surgeon by training.
Okay.
So, you know, we cover the emergency room for all the emergencies.
Okay.
So appendicitis, people with issues with gallbladder,
Okay.
intestinal perforations. But they're the first person that sees the patient. We work together, coordinate care. If the patient needs operation, myself or my colleagues who, you know, treat the disease, whether it needs to be treated in the hospital. No surgery is surgery. That's something that we decide when we examine the patient. But he and I are very integral. Yeah, you
So
know,
you guys are real close.
very close.
We're paisans.
He's going too close.
We went to the same high school together.
Did you?
Yeah.
Even though he's much older than me.
Was it local or what? Local high school?
In Long Island, New Hyde Park, New Hyde Park Memorial High
I
School.
wonder why you look familiar.
I told you, we're paisans. I call him Vito.
Yeah, see that? I knew you guys.
And both of our fathers were chefs.
Yep.
So we're like, you know,
You
basically
like to cook?
And same medical school.
in the same medical.
Get out of
And what
town.
school was that?
In
Downstairs,
Brooklyn.
yeah.
Really downstairs.
Okay.
Alright, so you must deal with the patient's families a lot, like surgery, and they probably attack you.
Well, you know, it's part of our job to make sure that we have a buy-in from the family. I mean, they have, you know, patients usually when they're having operation, they're already scared to begin with. So it's
Yeah.
part of our job to communicate the plan with the family so they're all on the same page.
All right, so what happens when you have an Italian family that 17 people want to talk to you at once?
Yeah,
No
it's Sal
problem.
what to do. So,
Just call Sal.
Because that's what happens. I mean, my family is by committee. You know.
Yeah.
That's an
That's
issue in
right,
healthcare
definitely.
these days, though.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
we,
it's not
you
just
know,
like
we like to, you know, allow all family members to kind of, but we ask one person to be
The leader.
The leader, yes.
That's good.
Most of the time, it's always.
And there's always
choose.
one person,
I
maybe
think-
5 people that think they're the
You
leader.
see,
But
that's what I
there's
just said. I think predominantly most people think they're chiefs. You know,
Yeah.
but we need some Indians. You know what I mean?
Right.
But Dr. Suji, you do robotic surgery.
What
Wow.
the hell?
I was like,
Yeah, we,
what do I say?
So, what do you have, cans of steel? I mean, you know.
So the original robot was designed, the original intention was to be used in the military, but actually was picked up by cardiac surgeons to do their bypasses and so forth in the early 2000s. And then the urologist and the OBGYN started using it because the original robot was more of a one-directional, you know, unit. And then in 2011-12, Intuitive Surgical came up with a different type of robot called the Da Vinci SI, which was a little bit more conducive to some of this work that we do as a general surgeon. And then a new robot, the latest one's called the XI. It's the latest that we have in our hospital, and it's allowed us to work on multi-quadrant rather than just using surgery for one location like urologist or GYN, which is the pelvis. We can do surgeries in the stomach, you know, the esophagus, right in the pelvis, colon. I do a lot of hernias, and hernias come in different locations. So this new robot allows us to, you know, offer minimally invasive surgery to more people than we can with old traditional robot. And there's 2 people who use laparoscopy, but the benefit of robot is it. Number one, the camera holder doesn't get tired. You don't have to worry about people chasing.
See, that's the thing I get worried about. Sometimes, what if you have a glitch or something?
Yeah, what if
You know what I mean? That's what gets me a little nervous. But
What
you
if
know
you
what?
have to scratch your back?
I turn around and I know I'm not going to die. That's for sure. You know.
It's got a lot of safety mechanisms to make sure that nothing bad happens to the patient. So if there's a power shut, the instrument stays. There's a lot of way to reboot.
So if it power out, it's in my shoulder, it stays.
He knows how to get it out,
Yeah, that's
too.
right.
So.
Okay.
We
know
call
what we have to do.
PSE&G.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Put us on the list.
Patty now, she keeps you all in check.
That's
obviously.
right. That's right. That's for sure.
Patty's terrific.
No.
Yes.
From the
I
minute I met
put
her.
them out there. You know, they're barely, all of them are fairly new to LIJ Valley Stream. So it's important for the community to know, definitely to know David, and to know the people who are taking care of them.
Absolutely.
So.
David's amazing, I got to tell you.
Yeah.
David, he's a ham.
Patty's, you know, we talk all the time about if people in the community knew what we know in the building, about how far we've made it, about how hard we're working to continue improving the profile of the building, and continue improving our programs, making sure that we get that message out.
Yeah, and anything we can do to help you.
I mean, you guys, I gotta tell
Let
you,
us know. Come,
I remember I had 3 heart attacks and 2 strokes. My 3rd heart attack, I remember I had to go, I was driving, I just didn't feel good, and I hate going to the doctor. So it was too far for me to go to St. Francis. And I was right around the corner, at the time, Franklin, which we don't like to use that word.
No way,
Okay?
that's a good
Look, like, don't use that word.
That's a doo-doo word.
And I remember when I went to the emergency room, you know, I called my doctor really quick and I said, I'm at Franklin. He goes, don't let anybody touch you. And it's true. And within whatever, they just ended up transferring me.
Yeah.
But now you guys have really,
What a
a 360.
brand
It's
you are
amazing what you've done.
Yeah,
to
I mean,
the place. I mean, the facilities are, state of the art.
So yeah, the facilities are going to be upgraded in a significant way. Not only upgraded, but completely rebuilt. So, you know, David and you know, the entire health system has invested a lot of money in the emergency department. If you walk through now, it has 2/3 of it under construction, and we're about to enter a phase where that final third is going to be taken over. But it's going to be a brand new facility, new entry points, new procedures to get seen. We have been working very hard behind the scenes, not only on the physical nature, but also developing our faculty.
Because they have great jewelry. I love jewelry. So they have great necklaces.
You know what I learned? Sometimes you would hear this, the #1 hospital in Nassau, Suffolk, New York State, blah, 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 all this good stuff. And the mortality rate is less at certain hospitals, you know, more than others. But I didn't realize why the rates are less. It's because they turn people away. Certain places. I mean, I can understand if you don't specialize in something. Okay, that I can understand. But I don't want to mention one hospital, but for instance, if somebody does need, just say a heart transplant, and you're 80, well, they're like, well, you know, they would rather do it on somebody 50 versus somebody 80. But you guys don't turn people away.
Well, I mean, there's
What I
truth to that.
understand.
I think the other thing that's important here is the risk adjustment methodology, right? Is if one hospital's going to have a healthier patient population than another, how do you risk adjust to take those factors into account so that ultimately, I think the upside with transparency, right, is that people feel more informed to make healthcare decisions. The downside with it, right, is there's lots of data out there that at times can be very contradictory to each other, right? You'll see a rating system come out on a Monday that says these 2 hospitals are the greatest and those 2 hospitals
But
aren't
who
so
rates
good.
that? This is what I want to know. Who rates that?
It's an organization,
Is it a board
isn't it?
of doctors, or is it a board of just regular civilians? Or I mean,
So
I don't know how that works.
There's
That's why
a
I'm
bunch of
asking.
different rating systems
Yeah,
that are out
I
there.
know.
So yeah, I think for us, what we really have tried to focus our time and attention on is a program that's run by CMS, by the federal government. It's called the STARS program, and it essentially is doing risk adjustment, but it's evaluating every hospital on things like mortality, but also what are your surgical site infection rates, what are your readmission rates, you know, something called PSI 90 patient safety indicators is a major factor there. Again, your readmission rates, your mortality rates, your patient experience scores are critical to driving performance in that program. So we've really, as a health system and certainly as a hospital, chosen to focus most of our time and attention on our performance in the CMS STARS program. And we've made a lot of progress and continue to focus on areas of opportunity for us. Yeah, but you know, to your point, and this is where these programs can create confusion, there's so many different rating systems that are out there. You know, even from a physician perspective, right? If you go, well, he's a bad example because his patients love him, but you know, if you just pick any doctor and go and search them on Google, you could have 2 different rating systems come up. One that says the physician's the greatest doctor, you know, on Long Island, and another one where, you know, 1 or 2 dissatisfied patients drive their score down. So again, I'm always an advocate for transparency, but the challenge in transparency can be inconsistency in how you evaluate. So again, as a health system, we've chosen to really dedicate ourselves to the CMS STARS program as our feeling on best practice out there. All these programs, you can make the argument, have flaws associated with them, but our feeling is that that's the most data-driven and best indicator of true quality in a hospital, both on the clinical quality side and the patient experience side.
Well, congratulations. First thing we do is everybody gets bread.
She was so annoyed. She's back there trying to pull out this bread
I
thing.
couldn't get him out, you know. This is an Italian bread, okay? And I believe, and so does Greg, that relationships start with breaking bread. So you don't break it here. You break it back at the office with your secretary. okay? Because I believe that the administrator is the most important to you. I was there for many years out in the field as an administrator, and
Thank you very
let me
much.
tell you, they are your heart, soul, front, back, right and left. So break the bread with her, or him, whoever he is.
Thank
And
you.
we want to toast you. And we
Definitely,
want to
definitely.
toast Angela.
Toast,
Can you
toast,
bring her
toast.
over? Angela, come on down. We're going to have
Angela.
you sit in.
Toast, 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 guys.
Cheers.
Tranquility Spa. The
It's an
greatest
amazing,
place.
amazing spa here.
Come sit down here. Come on. Yeah.
Okay.
Come over here, honey. We're going to sit over here now.
Yeah.
Tranquility Spa, Franklin Square. They did an amazing thing for you guys.
We're going to share the mic here.
Your essential workers were, I think, thrilled.
They were?
And I bet you guys haven't gone yet, right? So you're going to get an appointment to go very soon. Great.
Oh, great.
It's terrific. You got to go once, and then you're hooked.
I know who's going to get
Angela,
that.
this is to you, Angela.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Thank you for doing
Cheers.
this.
Cheers.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you for all your help.
Yes, you're welcome. I also want to thank you because the other day my son broke his arm. I go to the emergency. Everybody very nice. All the doctor nice to us. I want to say thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh,
You guys
our
did
pleasure.
a good job.
And his son, his name is Caesar.
I'm
And
gonna
he was
get Valentina.
crying, yes.
So I actually got to go to your spa before the staff did, so I could, introduce it to them, and because they said to me, "What is it all about?" So I did partake in the salt treatment room, and it was amazing. Like it's very, you breathe in the salt, and our staff just completely loved it.
She was very relaxed.
Yeah,
I think.
I was. I came back to work, and it was really a great event. Thank you so much.
And Patty, did you try the massage?
I did. From that, I've then brought my husband to do a massage and also foot reflexology. So we really appreciate you, and we'll be customers.
Thank you.
Well, isn't that nice? How do you like being in Franklin Square, Angela? You like it?
Yeah, I like.
You do. You have a beautiful, so clean. in there.
I got to tell you that I still haven't had the opportunity to do the salt cave because my feet are very sensitive. So walking on the salt rocks, I was screaming like a woman. That's all I'm going to say. Okay? I was like, so.
And then he had to carry me through
Yeah,
because
so-
I have bad knees.
So that really wasn't a good experience so far.
We almost had
Just
to
for
lift
that.
me up, which would have been a
But
problem.
I mean, she's done a lot for the community since she's been here, and we would like to thank you so much for everything that you've done. Let alone for the hospital, but for Franklin Square and for neighboring towns.
Yeah,
And keep up the good work.
yeah, and they renovated
You're
it.
welcome.
It's so pretty. The color is orange.
Yes.
The whole
Yes.
spot is orange,
Yep.
which is very popular right now. Actually, 2 of our guests have orange on today.
Yeah.
Orange is the color. Did you know that?
Purple is
You have
purple.
an orange shirt?
Purple.
Gotta get a shirt. Get an orange tie and an orange shirt. Gotta be with the times. That's
Slacking off, young man. You're slacking off.
We'll get yours.
Now, you know what? I got to tell you, sometimes I was my father, especially my father, they were very big with, because I was born in Mount Sinai Hospital. And one thing I do have to say is bedside manner is so important. And I hear that you guys really, really, really work on that. I mean, you guys really, really practice that. Where when I would go see the doctor, or say one of the doctors on Park Avenue, Madison, whatever, as soon as you went into the room, you take the shirt off, whatever, and he would go on my back and he would tap, and do you guys still practice that, or you guys are just,
Do they do that still?
Yeah, what you're describing is like a physical exam, right? So that's part of the pulmonary exam, and
I'm sorry.
no, it's fine. I think, I think people like to have that doctor or patient hands-on.
Right, they touch your legs.
Not only physically,
Right.
but certainly connect-wise. So one of the things that every one of our physicians needs to go through is this is a program, and it kind of trains you how to not only speak to and diagnose, but how to connect with your patient. Simple things such as rephrasing a question to really get an opportunity to really discover why your patient is there. So it's a health system initiative, and it's something that we all learn as leaders, and then we kind of descend down to our staff. So it's very important to have that connection with your patients. So it's something that's very important to Northwell, as well as us, yeah.
Well, Angela, I can't thank you enough. I know you have to get back to the shop. You have appointments.
Yes.
I'm going to make appointments for these gentlemen.
Okay, yeah.
They're going to come see you. And
Thank you so
for
much.
everything.
Thank you.
And, have a cup of coffee, take it on the way out.
Okay,
All
okay.
right? And there's some
Yeah.
good cookies. Take some to Caesar.
Okay,
That's it.
yeah.
All right, thanks,
Okay,
Angela, for
I hope
coming.
see you guys again.
Okay.
Come to our spa, okay?
We look forward to it. Thanks,
Okay,
Angela.
thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a
Yeah,
lot.
I remember my doctor would always tell me that he goes, 80% to 90% of the problem. He goes, I don't need to have you tested, second to all these things. Just by having just a normal conversation,
Yeah.
you pretty much diagnose a patient.
Yeah.
Good history.
I said,
Says it all.
really?
Yeah, 90% is
So,
the
and I
history
said to him,
of
that's my
yeah.
cardiologist, and he said to me, the way, our conversations, he goes, you have more of a mental problem. So, I was like, okay, so he was right.
Yeah.
But do you find some patients, like I have my own ideas, like when you talk to them, sometimes the patient knows what's really wrong with them. They just need to tell you, and then you check
Just
them
get it
out,
off
and
their
like, she's
chest.
right.
I mean,
No, and you give her the right medication. Like, she knows what medicine works for her. Do you get that or no?
Yeah, a lot of times with certain diseases, the patient knows exactly what they're there for, and they
Right.
know best their bodies. When I think of that, I think of people that have asthma. They know exactly
Right.
what works for them, what doesn't work for them, and you have to listen. That's the bottom line. You have to
Yeah.
listen.
Yeah.
Being a good listener is a very good part of being.
I hate the pump, I'll tell you right now. The pump for asthma?
It's
Hate
hard
it.
to use.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Most people don't know how to use it.
But I found out, something that was causing
get a
the
spacer.
Yeah,
Oh, what is
causing
it?
the other
A
problems.
spacer.
I don't need the pump anymore, thank God.
Good.
But,
Good for you.
again, some people have a problem with certain kind of tools they
Yeah,
use
sure, yeah.
for medication.
So she substituted
So look
for
at this.
a bone.
We gotta give these out. You guys gave us, this is called 516-2588 Ortho.
Okay.
So what is that? Tell us.
And so that's, I believe it's our ortho hotline.
Love it.
So,
Look at
yeah, it's, orthopedics is an area that we do really, really well. Not just, hip and knee replacement, although we do that very well and we do a lot of it. But we have a major robust spine infrastructure. We see a lot of fracture work through the ER,
Right.
that Dr. Pardo and his team intake. So, yeah, we've been lucky to really build up a nationally regarded orthopedic service.
That's great.
Yeah, and for the last couple of years, we have a dedicated unit at the hospital.
That's new, right?
It opened last summer. Yeah, we always
Yeah, I
had,
thought it was
to Dr. Pardo's point earlier about cohorting, right? We've always cohorted the post-op orthopedic population for a number of reasons. One, to drive a certain type of patient experience. Two, you worry about infections post-op, right? So you wouldn't
Yeah.
want to put a patient who just came out of surgery with an infectious patient, so to speak. So we just opened a brand new orthopedic unit last July.
That's good to know. I gotta tell all our members about
Yeah,
that.
it's a beautiful unit.
'Cause I
All
don't think everyone knows about it.
yeah, we'd be happy to show people around. Anybody that wants to come by, it's it's a unit with all private rooms. There's a rehab gym on the unit, and 2 years running now, they've been in the top decile nationally, above the 90th percentile in patient experience. So, in addition to just having great quality scores and clinical outcomes, we've also done a really nice job of focusing on the hospitality side of that experience as
So
well.
now all the doctors that come out of the Lake Success kind of place where they do their training,
Mm-hmm.
what is that called?
Residency
So residency training?
Yeah.
Is this a teaching hospital?
So, yeah, we
Or is it
do.
a,
Yeah, you think about places like North Shore and LIJ that really have training programs across the board. Both of these guys have worked in big academic places that have robust teaching infrastructure. We do train, we have medical students, we have clerkship students who come in general surgery, for example, and we do have orthopedic residents. It's a program actually based out of Plainview Hospital, but we have essentially a shared program where the orthopedic residents spend a pretty considerable amount of time with us as well. So education's a big part of what we do.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're part of the training center, right, in Lake Success?
Yeah, we link up closely. I mean, these guys both could speak to you about some of the work that they do, both within general surgery and emergency medicine. We talk for physician leaders all the time. It's not just about your administrative and clinical responsibilities, but both of these guys are very involved in academic activity as
Well,
well.
Dr. Sugiyama, I interviewed for the position of standard patient actor.
Up
I
at
did.
CLI.
I
Yeah.
wanted it badly. I
Yeah.
didn't get it, but it was interesting.
It's
and that's a
fascinating work.
great little job for someone.
Yeah.
It's part-time. You just go in, you sit, the whole
Great.
works. I loved it.
I wish I had.
That's your
That's the
break
kind of job I
bread.
want to have. That's the kind of job I want to have.
Yeah, but I didn't get it. It wasn't meant to be.
You know,
Well,
I
I was shocked about it.
But we do a lot of teaching all the time. So we, not only for medical residents, we have medical students, we have PA students, we have fellowships, we have all sorts. We have nursing fellows. So there's always education happening at all the hospitals. You know, we're part of a big medical school now. So it's really opened up the doors for opportunity for not only the faculty, but students to come in and out of all the hospitals, and especially LHA Valley Street.
Well, here's the number one question, David. How do you keep your staff motivated, up, happy, laughing, you know, the works?
Yeah, you know, it's the most important question you could ask. I mean, obviously there's good days and bad days in the
Of course.
hospital. I think what we try to do is always connect back to the mission, right? I think you know, when you have a career, for me, 15 years long, there's good days and there's bad days, but I always try to find a way to remind myself of why I chose to work in healthcare, which at the end of the day is to help people. I've always found that the best way to keep people focused in that regard, again, is to just bring them back to why did you choose to work in healthcare in the first place? Because when people take that moment and pause and sit there and think about how they just wanted to be there for people in their highest and lowest points in their life,
Right.
it has a way of sort of pulling you back in and re-motivating and recentering.
Definitely.
But we do lots of fun things too. Patty has been a part of that, right? We we like to celebrate successes.
Which is great. That's
Yeah.
the most important when dealing with people.
Yeah, yeah,
Right where I worked in media, I was chief morale officer.
yeah.
And they don't have those things anymore. They don't exist. But they're very important.
Well, it's part of everybody's job now.
Yeah, especially now because of what goes on.
We do have a great collaborative team though, with human resources,
For patient and family experience. Yeah.
Good.
community relationship. We do work with our team. We do work all together, and part of it after post-COVID was to create a real focus on the employees and to help them recover from something that was really incredible. And so that team really produced some dynamic things.
That's
Like
great.
just several weeks, we had Tranquility Tent out on the porch, and just several weeks of focus on them. Just really significant to help them get grounded again.
That's
Yeah.
great.
This has been a
That's
big, a big commitment for Northwell for the last few years. Staff engagement, staff wellness. We have a pretty robust set of programs around staff wellness. So both from a well-being perspective, from a physical perspective. Just last week, we actually, our head of HR, last Friday, took a group outside at 12:30, and they went for a walk in the community for about a half an hour. So
Oh, that's amazing.
we try to find opportunities to support activities like that, even just to step out of the building for a couple minutes. It's particularly these guys do more so than me, but it's stressful work. And
Well,
so
you
finding
guys
those
do a lot of
moments.
volunteer groups in
We
your
do.
hospital too, right?
Yep.
Put projects together.
Yep. We
That's
have lots of community. We have
I
a
know.
patient and family advisory council that comes in and we talk to them about some of the programmatic work we're doing. But I think what you sense with us, right? We're a competitive bunch. We don't like to slow down.
Oh,
We don't
that's
like
great.
to.
That's what
yeah.
makes you one team.
Yeah.
We
it
can
works
give
well.
a shout out to Town of Hempstead. They're
Yes.
actually, we're engaging with them right now for the next 6 weeks. We'll be doing COVID testing, Northwell paid sponsored, COVID testing within the town of Hempstead. So all
great,
Hempstead
that's great.
residents
Well,
can.
thanks to
can
Mr.
come to
Clayton, right?
Yep.
He's the greatest.
And they've been incredibly supportive. I mean, even they made grants available to all the local hospitals based on a lot of the expenses that we incurred to respond to COVID. So the town has been incredibly supportive.
Yeah,
incredibly
Town of
supportive.
Hempstead is the best.
Yeah.
They really are.
Really, really is.
Yeah.
Dr. Suji, I swear to you, when he walked in before,
Dr. Suji.
I was like,
Can we call you Dr.
I was like,
Suji?
buddy.
That's a short.
We all do it.
I was like, buddy, how old are you? I'm sitting here, I'm like a fossil. I'm
He looks
54.
young, but-
I feel like a fossil. And he's just walking in
You are a
there.
baby.
I'm like, are you really?
He has energy for days. Though.
And I love your hair. You have great hair.
Can you help me with mine?
You know, that's
Tell you,
amazing.
why don't you tell
It's a different
them
type of
about your-
shirt.
Is that what I was okay, there we go.
So Valentina,
You should tell them
something
about
that you
your
may
team's
not have known,
recent
and Dr. Suji will talk about this for a second, but
Yeah.
something that you may not have known, Dr. Pardo is our hair cutter.
What?
He did it out on the patio.
Really?
Right.
Really?
David's hair, all of it, everybody lined up. and
So we
Dr.
were
Pardo was getting
we were right in the
haircuts
middle of
out on the
COVID.
porch.
No, you couldn't get a
Yeah, we
haircut. We
couldn't
were all
get out.
working
Really?
20 hours a day. So
These guys live there.
Dr. Pardo one day, you talk about morale boosters, right? He brought in his clippers one day and he was doing haircuts out on the
Look at
patio.
you.
Well,
So
have you
it's,
always had that full head of hair, or do you use something special? We need to know.
Yeah, like Rogaine? No, I don't think he uses Rogaine.
genetics.
I don't see plugs in there either.
You look like you could be a comedian.
You said that.
So we keep him young. So it's
Yeah, I bet all the ladies like him. Yeah,
We can't comment about that, okay? They're patrons, okay?
yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, my mother, whenever one of my nieces were in, my mother was in the hospital when she would visit, she'd say to the doctor, "Are you single? Are you single? I want you to meet my niece." That's my mother. She was that way. She made friends with everybody.
These two are spoken for, but we can give you some other names.
Yes,
Okay, there we go.
Well, that's good. That's
We
good.
could have, at this place, we could have a dating a doctor speed date. Because you really don't have that much time to talk and conversate. So it'll be a speed date.
And doctors, they're the greatest to be married to. That's what they say. Wish to be a doctor's wife. You have a great life. But then your doctor is never there when you're home, right?
Now,
You guys are busy.
what made you decide to be a doctor? Truthfully, I mean,
You want the real story?
yeah, the real story. Real story.
Well, I like working with people. Originally, I was going to be an engineer, and then when I was amongst my classmates, I realized I didn't want to do that. And then I went to my father and I said, I want to do psychology. And he heard psychiatry. My dad worked at Hillside Hospital in New Hyde Park, so he dragged me into the hospital and said, "This is what you do this summer." And then I liked the hospital atmosphere, and I kind of pursued medicine from that.
Yeah, and
So
that
my-
hospital has tons of psychiatry.
Yeah, it's a psych hospital. Yeah, so I didn't want to be a psychiatrist, but emergency medicine was my calling, and that's how it came to be. I just like helping people. Yeah.
What about you, Dr. Suji?
I had a lot of interest growing up. I play a lot of sports, so I thought maybe I could do something related to sports. But I never really had the connection with the doctors because we weren't the richest of people when we moved to this country, so we're very poor. So we went to doctors when they were dying, so we kind of avoided it. But then I was like, you know what, that's not the right way to live. And there's a lot of people of different cultural background who have lack access to care, and I said maybe I'll go into it because I didn't have a doctor growing up. I'd become a pediatrician, so I applied to medical school and went
Just
to
like that.
Great
Well,
story.
I had a lot of interest, but anyways, I went thinking I was going to be a pediatrician because that's what I wanted. I didn't have a pediatrician, so now I became a pediatrician. A lot of
And
people-
that's how you started?
Yeah, but then I did my pediatric rotation. They told me they were the nicest and the gentlest. They were the meanest. The harshest of all. I can't do this. And I was going to do ER, but then the pace of it is very fast. And I like the trauma. So, I like doing the trauma aspect of the
actual
ER, but
seeing
they
what
do
happened.
everything. Remember, they don't know what they're coming. There's no script for them. So they have to figure out.
They improvise
So I
real
always
quickly,
have
right?
the respect for the ER doctors because one day it could be chest pain, it could be abdominal pain. Next thing you know, somebody's having a stroke. So
Lord knows what you
I
see in
just
that
like
ER.
that aspect of ER, and I didn't think I could handle the variety. So I said, I like trauma. So that's how I went into.
See, I like drama. You know
Okay.
that. I like drama.
He said trauma. You're drama. Big difference,
Drama,
okay?
comes a lot of drama.
There we
Talk
go.
about family. I got surrounded by like 50 gang members once.
I believe
You're
it.
kidding me? Are you
Yeah,
joking?
I do believe
After the
it.
patient died, yeah.
Wow.
Because I trained in Brooklyn, so
Right.
we got patients in all
Well,
over.
Brookdale is one of those.
No, Kings County.
Okay, there you go.
Not LA.
I was going to say, if God forbid getting shot, I'd like to go to Kings County versus going to, another hospital that doesn't. I mean, because that's all they deal with is gunshot
Just to
wounds.
train.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to mention that we have a new thing going on here. It's called the Foodies. If you have any friends that own a restaurant, when a restaurant, we have a couple that goes out to the restaurants and tests the food. The restaurant then, obviously does a good job. They get this for their window. And this is
Yeah, we're going to have one for the hospital, the
Yeah.
cafeteria.
Yeah.
If you need taste testers, we're
There
happy
you
to
go.
step up
Yeah,
and do our
so
part.
this is what goes in the window. So if you know anyone, and if the hospital wants to join us one day and come on,
Got it.
no problem.
Got it.
Whoever your
That'd be
cooks
great.
are.
That'd be great.
Yeah, so this is called the new Foodie Contest.
Got
We're
it.
it's going very well. We're getting a lot of restaurants interested. I just got one on Saturday.
Good,
How
good.
do I become a guest food tester?
Yeah.
Like, I don't
And
know.
look, whenever you take the time,
Do you make
I'll
sauce
find
or
time.
gravy? Do you make sauce or gravy?
A sauce. Come on.
All right. Well, that's it.
Salsa.
and what about the bread? How much bread do you really eat? Come on, you tell the
Well, we
truth.
cut down on the bread a lot over
I know,
the years.
we have to.
Yeah. But
Otherwise, forget it.
but,
People blow it up.
you get a little bit of bread.
Yeah. But in our family, the first thing is the peppers and the bread. You know that, right?
Okay.
Big deal. And that's the worst, because then you're full. You know, he hasn't
That's true.
tasted our peppers yet.
Now, you know what I gotta tell you, when it comes to eating, now I'm just more of a picker. So whenever I go somewhere, yeah, you know, I just like to just pick throughout the day. To sit and have a big meal, I just, you know.
So here, use this if you want to be a picker. I bought it for you today. You like it?
All right.
It's orange. That's the new color.
Yeah,
Orange
right.
is the new color. Now, we do a lot of, fun stuff here.
So what are your hours? You know, I need to ask you, what are your hours like? Especially in the emergency room.
A typical emergency room physician will work 12 hours at a time, and they do about 3 shifts a week, right? And then, so that's a typical emergency medicine schedule. So 12 hours a day for 3 to 4 days a week. And they work weekends, nights, overnight, so their shifts are changing all the time. So that's what you would expect as an emergency medicine doctor, yeah.
He's in a leadership role though, so he's on 24/7.
So my phone
You
is
are, right?
always...
That's what I was gonna say.
My phone is always on my hip, and I get calls at sometimes 1 in the morning, sometimes 5 in the morning. So I've realized over the years that I can't be there 24/7, but I'm
Right.
expected to be. So, that comes with the territory. It's a privilege to do it, though.
You know, I was kind of wondering, Dr. Sugi, how do you decide for when to use the robot or just yourself doing it?
So the robot is still me. I'm still controlling the instrument.
So then why use the robot then?
Well, he's controlling the
Well,
He's the doctor, thank you.
I'm sticking up
You wonder what
for you,
everybody's...
Suji.
Let him speak.
From the ergonomic standpoint, robot has a pivot point, so there's less torquing on the body. So at least in my experience, I noticed the patient has less pain post-surgery. Certain cases are not just right for robots. I use laparoscopic instruments, or some patients are too sick or too old to have general anesthesia, so now do open. So everybody's different. I kind of tailor every patient's treatment, what's right for that particular patient. So I'm not all for one. So everybody gets a robot. It's actually not that. I get a lot of elderly patients now, like 95, 96-year-old with hernias. They don't want to go to sleep. So then I'll do my operation with sedation and local, or if at most just local anesthesia, so that they don't have to worry about going to sleep. Or
They don't want to go to sleep?
no, they're afraid. Yeah.
I want to put out.
Everybody's different.
I've had 52 surgeries. It doesn't matter. I just walk in and just bite. That's all.
I just remember how I felt when I had the colonoscopy. I just I was in heaven out there. I was experiencing all kinds of wonderful things. Being on that, whatever, that stuff is cool.
Yeah.
Crazy gas or whatever. What's it called?
Depends.
What do you want to call it?
But anyway.
Legal, illegal, no.
Yes, it depends on the person, right?
I think what they use is purple flooding, something you can ID, right?
Yeah, I
It
was
tends to give people good dreams for money.
really great.
Yeah.
It happened in like 3 seconds.
Yeah, knocks you out.
That is the best thing I got to tell you. A lot of times I have to go for an epidural. And so he's talking to me, and I have to use quite a bit. I mean, they do give me quite a bit of anesthesia because I'm just used to it, And the guy's like, shh, and we're talking and blah, 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 and then he's like, shh.
Yeah.
He's
Count
like,
back
you not
to that.
asleep yet?
Yeah.
My doctor's like, I'll knock him out. But, the only thing I look forward to, I swear to you, when I have to go for an epidural or surgery, when you go into the emergency room, do you play music? I mean, I know yours is a little different because it's but when you go to the operator,
I don't go in the operating room. I
Oh, you
do
don't at all.
procedures in the but certain
you
surgeons
do.
have their
Okay,
theater
so-
and they do things. Yeah.
So do you listen to music?
All the time.
Do you dance like they show
No,
on
I don't
TV?
think
He's dancing, flipping knives, scalpels.
Definitely music.
You do, right?
Yeah, that's
What do you
right.
listen to? That'll make or break our relationship right now. If I have to go see you, yes, let's be honest,
Music. He's the
okay?
king of music.
I need my music. When I go in there, if I'm going to go out, I want
Tell
to
the
go out.
truth.
So if the patient's going to be awake, I ask the patient what they want to hear.
Oh, that's a good answer, survey says.
Right? And then if staff has particular dislike or likes, I always ask because we're a team again. I'm not one of those dictators.
That's
If they don't
nice.
like
Right.
the particular music, it's gonna break the mood. So I listen to a variety of music. Just keep it safe.
He still didn't tell me what he listens to, but he listens to the right
Perfect
music.
answer.
Yeah, I love that. Really?
Answer this question. What's your favorite type of music?
I listen to that.
Oh, he's
good.
really pushing down.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, okay, well, what do you like to dance to?
I'm not a dancer.
I bet you are. I bet you are. Oh, yeah?
Sal noticed
Back in the day.
Sal noticed the dance floor as
Well,
soon
you
as
guys
he
have
came
to
in.
Oh,
come
really?
tonight.
Okay.
We'll have a new one short. We'll have a LIJ Valley Street night.
A dance party.
Bring all the
We'll
people.
supervise, but you guys have fun.
We'll do a contest.
I'm not allowed to dance on the dance floor anymore.
Why? You're that bad? You're
Really,
that
are
bad?
you?
Get in trouble.
I thought he was going like this. Like, I was like, wait, am I missing something? Okay.
Well, we didn't talk about what today is.
Oh,
It's
you know
2
what?
days.
We were very excited having you
Yeah,
guys on the
we
show.
really, we went off.
All right, today's National Black... No, I don't even
It's
want to-
Black Cat
I
Appreciation
hate
Day.
that.
Black Cat
Black
Appreciation
Yes, it
Day.
is. Yes, and it's also
All right,
another
what is
day.
this? Celebrate Discovery Day.
Discovery Day. It's a
Okay.
it's a big,
Let's go.
it's
Let's
a big
continue.
day in Canada.
Is it? It's a Canadian
Yeah, it's a
holiday?
Canadian. Like, okay.
He doesn't like talking about it, but I do. Because people don't know what today is.
No. I love talking about, nice, good things. just,
Well,
National
sometimes-
Hug Day, National
Yeah, Black
Appreciate
Cats are
Your
not
Doctor
good.
Day, or,
Well, hopefully no black cats in our future. Because they're not good.
Yeah. Now, I had a problem with my feed, and I have to
Say
give
hi.
but I can't because I had a problem with my feed, so I apologize. Phil, how you doing, buddy? David, Mandy, Jenny A, Jenny C, Saba, Bruce, Patricia, Paulie, Puccio, how are you, babe? Gabrielle, thank you for watching, for crying out loud. Rosemary, how you doing, hon? I finally made it. Yay! And Amory, Gina, Mariana, and Tammy, and again, Fredo. I love your food, and I am giving you a shout out. It's Long Island soul food, and I like everything spicy. I don't care what it is. The only thing that I don't like is tripe. I'll eat everything in the world but tripe, and I tried it the Spanish way, the Italian way, the Asian way. I just don't like tripe. And he tried to get me to eat tripe, and I couldn't do it.
Great man.
But but he's a great guy, and I just want to say thank you so much for all you do for me and my friends. And Kevin, congrats. I will be there. I don't want to say what I'm going to be there for because it's going to ruin it, but I will be there. And Gina, hello. And Deabry.
Yeah, well, Anne-Marie, yeah, she's organic. Yeah.
And I know I missed a lot of other people, but I had a
Yeah.
problem with my feet, so I apologize.
Oh, that's-
Because everybody looks forward to the
Everybody
shout-outs.
likes when we
They love the
talk to
shout-outs,
them,
yeah.
that we
Sometimes I
do
see them for
what
20
they
minutes,
like. But on
uh,
that note, I read today Heart Healthy Tips, okay? Tell me if you agree. Pet your dog, eat lean, find a community person that can be supportive to you, be calm, sleep good, and turn into your body, tune in to what your body needs. What do you think, guys?
Sounds all right to me.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
think number
I've
one
been
is
a
That's
doctor.
it.
I
Oh,
could've been
yeah.
a
No
doctor.
cardiologist
I
here, but it
definitely
all
don't
makes
believe that.
sense.
sleep hygiene is very important.
Yes.
Yeah, but I don't sleep a lot, but I'm okay with it.
But she snores very well, though. When she
At
goes
the
to Tranquility Spa, you
At
see it like
Florida Spa.
you can get the massage. you
Sign
can
of
sit-
relaxation.
Oh, yeah, you can sit.
Heart healthy.
You're covered with curtains. They
Yeah.
don't know it's you.
Right, they can just hear her, but they don't know it's her, though.
No, but really.
Well, now they do. But
Yeah.
We are so happy to have you, and if you would like us to do anything, we're going to talk about you all month. You'll have
That's
to let
right.
me know what number you want us to talk about, what project, what's going on.
Well, now you're family, so now
That's
you're
it.
stuck
You're
with us.
in. And
You're stuck
look,
with us.
what's better than this? This
That's
man
right.
gave the Breakfast Club a home. So
Yep.
he needs to be congratulated because we lived out of my car for the last 7 years.
She lived out of her
Well,
car.
I had a home, but the club.
That's her second home. No.
The car was the home, everything in the car. And we used to, unload and load once a month, twice a month. So
It was really
thank you,
crazy.
Greg.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And it's beautiful here, we love it.
we really appreciate you guys having us. COVID, I think in so many ways was such a negative experience, but there's so much positive that came from it. And one of those things is we got to meet the two of you guys.
Oh,
So,
that's
That's
sweet.
sweet.
Let's
That's
drink.
sweet. Anything to drink. Anything to drink.
Not gonna fight.
I want to see him on the dance floor.
There you
he needs some of that first.
And I believe,
Right?
A lot
you
of
say
that.
you don't dance, I bet he gets you to dance on the dance floor.
He can do the robot.
Emergency docs don't get surgeons to do anything they don't want to do. So.
Let me tell you something. The people that come here, they get people up, you know, to dance.
Yeah, you have a good time. You have a good time.
Greg, how long?
The only thing I can make him do is go to the OR. That's it.
You're not. Got it.
Go to the OR. That's it.
No more.
That's the only thing I did.
But he's never met me before.
Oh, okay. There you go. Challenge.
There you go. That's another show.
No, you're all a pleasure to deal with.
Thank
I
you.
can't thank you enough. I know
Oh,
we're going to
really?
keep in touch.
Yes, we will, definitely.
And, you know, we have some other things we'll talk to you about for the future.
Look
And
forward to it.
you know where we are, and we know where you are.
That's for sure.
We had a great breakfast in his office the other day. It was really nice. So,
That's when we talked about you guys when you weren't there. So.
That's right. That's right.
we got all the goods on you prior to the show.
A lot of things we weren't allowed to talk about.
Yeah, well, I gave him a list.
So it's actually kind of about
It's in my contract.
I'm going to give you this for your hyperbaric unit. This is
Oh,
a wonderful
great.
story.
Okay.
It's about this little girl who
Oh.
survived because of the hyperbaric unit.
Wonderful.
About me and my best friend Jerry.
Oh,
So
thank you.
if they would like some, just let me know.
Sure, thank you
All
very
right?
much.
It's a great thing for them to read while they're going, the children are going in the unit.
Guys, I'd really like to thank you guys for coming on the show.
Thank you for
This
having
is
us.
the first.
It was a lot of fun, thank you.
Really,
I hope you'll come back.
yeah,
Love to.
Definitely,
And,
definitely.
we'll talk about maybe someday coming over there.
We'd love to do that too.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
I'd like to, I'd like to do a taping in the operating room.
On the robot.
With the
So,
robot.
there you go.
Okay. I'll practice with you. I'm really good. Steady hands, everything. Oh, yeah.
I
You're
have
the
to
guinea
be,
pig right now, right?
When you come by, we'll show it to you.
That's it. I would love to see
It's a
that.
lot of fun.
I would
Because I
love to
talk
see
to
Yeah.
him. You'll
In the
know.
operating room.
How would you ever guess?
You'd be surprised with. I've been in the operating room with him. You know, most surgeons like quiet in their OR. He's a talker in the OR.
Really?
Oh, then
Yeah.
I could come. All right. Well, because that's what I do now. That's part of my thing. I like to talk. But these, I love.
Yeah.
Love.
For
You
stress
love
relief.
squeezing on.
For stress
I
This
mean,
is a great gift to give people when they come on the show. So thank you for giving us some.
Really?
We're going to give them out. We're going to talk about the number.
Yeah.
There you go.
They're
All
fun.
right.
So
Is
again,
there
thank you so
anything-
much, guys. If there's anything you guys would like to say before we end the
No,
show.
we appreciate you guys having us today. Obviously, we're working hard at the hospital to support the community, and we appreciate all you guys did to support us during COVID. So thank you.
Oh, great. Thank
Very
you.
good. And thanks to Tranquility and
Yep. and
thanks to
thank-
you.
Thank you, and thanks to
Can I
you,
have
Bubba.
this?
Mwah.
Thank you.
There you go.
All right.
So we have to thank a couple of sponsors.
Yeah, well, yeah, we have to thank
Another there we go. Look, look.
the
This is what I'm
jewelry,
talking
our
about.
Puro Jewelers, okay?
Take a look. She doesn't even know where it is right now. This is what I go through all the time. There we go.
There
Paulie,
you go.
Paulie.
Holy
Paulie P.
Puccio, I saw him the
He's-
other night.
Did you?
Yeah, he was good. You were
Yeah,
here.
yeah, well, I was in Albany. So anyway, Paulie,
Honey, do this,
yeah, she
honey,
loves
do
that.
that.
She loves that.
You
Home
need something
improvement.
done, you call Paulie
That's
Puccio.
right, that's right.
He does it all. The husband doesn't do, he's a rent-a-husband.
Reframe that.
My wife
Just-
needs
he's
one of
just an
those.
instruction guy.
Eat
All right,
instruction.
all right,
Eat
that's it.
instruction.
Okay, don't ruin it for this guy. All right, really.
Okay, yeah.
And then so you can reach him at 516-667-4253. And then we have Tranquility Spa that was here. I want to thank you so much, Angela, for everything that you do for us, the community, the hospital. You are greatly appreciated, you really are. And Teddy, again, we're giving you another shout out, Teddy and Christina, for Oral Puro. It's for all your jewelry needs. She's always loaded with jewelry.
He gives me
That's the
some
only
great
he
things.
gives me. That's why she goes in there.
Yeah, but
Hi,
this is-
Teddy,
this-
bare necked. All right. What do you think will go on here? One of those.
Teddy Matzo's? Teddy? Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone knows Teddy. So,
That's right.
last
That's
but
right.
not least, I wanted to tell everyone, we just made a deal with Soriso Restaurant. They're on Jericho Turnpike in Garden City Park. They're going to be our sponsor soon. And anybody that tells them that you're part of the Breakfast Club gets 20% off their dinner.
Nice.
He's a great guy,
Wonderful.
and he's going to be coming on.
I got to tell you, Mildred Montez, I love you. That's all I have to say to you. I love you. I love you. You did a great job all these years raising my nephews. It's killing me that I just saw her just pop up on the thing here. You're an amazing woman. I swear to you. I'll stop crying thinking about it. She was like
Don't cry.
she was like a mom to me. You know,
Yes,
she
she
was
was.
married to my
That's
older
true.
brother, and she really took care of me. And I thank you so much, and I never forgot anything. So I hope all is well. Love you guys. So anyway, guys, thank you. We had a great show,
Thank you.
and we will see you soon.
Look forward to it.
Okay?
Absolutely.
And it's a
Wrap.